Hey everyone, you're watching VGO40 and this is VGO Girl, and today we're going to talk about a game that was just recently released. This is World of Kings, and there's a lot of, typical MMO features that you would find in this particular game, but, we're going to get into some of the more specific ones and try to do a bit more of an in-depth review, including some of the good and perhaps not so good features of the game. So go ahead, we're going to start with the character creation. So one of the fun features I think about this game is there are a lot of different classes you can play. Now, I know a lot of other games have multiple classes, but the ones that I'm more familiar with right now have a lot smaller variety of classes, at least as far as the iPhone, Android, mobile games go. So here you have about 9 different classes that you can pick from. You have your humans, your high elves, your orcs, and your dwarves. Each class has 3 subclasses that you can specialize in, and with those, I believe you can take 2 different subclasses, so you could switch between them. Beyond that, it looks like they're also getting ready to add the feature where you can kind of cross between the classes. So here a paladin it looks like cross between an archer and the healers, which is not available to me yet. Besides specializing in your class, you can also rank up your spells individually, and you can also rank up your skills as far as, you want to increase your hit points, your agility, those sort of things. So there's a lot of customization in the game. Now, besides just, the character creation and the questing, there are dungeons, and the dungeons do have a random queue across all servers, which is pretty nice. And as far as how long, it takes to queue up some of these dungeons, it's pretty quick, maybe a minute or two. And they do actually have a average time on each of the dungeons to queue into it. Now, there are going to be guild dungeons as well, but right now I'm just taking a look at the individual dungeons. Now, you will notice that one of the things that kind of drives me nuts is the mobs didn't appear there, and this is something that I found pretty typical after, especially doing something large. You have to restart the game periodically, or characters won't appear, mobs won't appear until you get really close to them, which drives me nuts. But you do have to periodically restart the game. It would be nice if they kind of fixed that, but I'm guessing that would probably be something that would happen later. Now here we're fighting one of the bosses, and as you can see, we are in a 5-person team. And you've got the typical, you're targeting the mob, and it shows you who the mob is attacking for healers, and you have area of effect spells that are shown in circles or lines or whatever across the floor. There is resurrection in the dungeons. I've died quite a few times, and it ports me a little bit away from the boss, but I do come back in that area. And then you run back, you kill the boss, and when the boss is dead, it's a random loot from the chest. It goes to each person, randomly gets a piece of armor or gear or something for killing the boss. I think I've looked at my inventory twice in this game because it has you automatically equip, or you press the button to equip anything that is an upgrade. So I think I found the inventory once or twice. Questing in this game is another thing I'm kind of torn on. When you take a quest, it auto-runs you to the mobs, and then it auto-kills the mobs. Now, you can turn off the auto skills, like, casting spells automatically every time it refreshes, in which order they cast in. Those sort of things are probably best to turn off, especially being a tank. The taunting, I don't want it to auto-taunt everything, especially if I'm in a big group and I've got other tanks, I may not want to taunt. So that definitely should be turned off, and you can turn it off. However, you automatically run to the different mobs and kill the next one, and you automatically run from the quest person to where those mobs are. when you're done killing the mobs, you automatically run back, and this autoplay thing, it just drives me nuts because I want to be able to find things in the world and explore, and without having it just automatically take me through the game. And there is an option to go into the settings. At the bottom is the auto combat settings, and that's where you can turn them off. I have noticed that for a cleric, I can't turn those off, and I'm not sure if it's just because it's a really low level one or not. But the controls, you can turn on and off the movement things. However, I don't know if this is a bug or something maybe just the developers haven't gotten to yet, but if I turn off the movements, the auto movement, it still will run me from place to place. So I'm not sure if that's just something they haven't gotten to or if it's a bug that they didn't realize you can't turn it off, but it'd be great if it would actually turn off. So, that would be good, because it drives me nuts. I guess at least one thing that's good with the questing here is that you do level up really fast in this game. It takes very little effort and you can level up very quickly. So, that can be nice because then you can unlock some of the later on features pretty fast. I haven't seen a lot of side quests in the game. There's one in the background there, but I wasn't able to take it. So I've been able to take some that are, people talking to, but some of the ones in the world I haven't been able to interact with. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But there are a lot of other quests that I'll randomly get. There's ones that are involve the dungeons. There's one here that will involve the guild. A lot of the guild quests or activities might be a better word are reoccurring, and so you can go into your guild castle, you can go to the quest giver and do the quest, and then the next day or a couple hours later they'll offer it again. So there are a variety of different kind of like side things you can do. In fact, I have spent very little time on this game actually doing the main quest because there's so many other daily quests and side quests and guild activities that are going on, that every time I log in there's always something going on that I'm like, ooh, I would like to do that, or I'd like to do this. So I haven't done a lot of the main quest line yet. Here's just another example of one of the guild activities you can do. It's a limited time activity, but I think it happens pretty often. Here we're collecting wood for a bonfire, and after we collect wood, this is an auto collect. I didn't even do anything but start the quest, and it just went around and collected everything for me, which again, I'd really rather it not do. But once you get all the wood, you go back and you hang out with your guild around a campfire until a boss appears. And once the boss appears, you all go over and fight him. Now, as mentioned before, this is one of those times when auto attacks really don't work very well, and I'm not even sure why the game even really put it in, because here, if you're taunting the mob off of your main tank, and you're a little character like me, you're going to die a lot, and you don't want to taunt. And here, I was trying with some of my skills. I wasn't sure if they were taunts or not because I hadn't looked a whole lot, because usually I'm a tank, but in this case, yeah, it didn't work. So definitely go in and turn those skills, those auto skills, off when you get a chance. But the point is that the game has a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with your guild. You can do different activities like this. There are like smaller quests. There are dungeons. So, there's a lot of, daily activities, all sorts of things that you would do either for your guild or with your guild. So, that's pretty cool. So I'm trying to keep this from getting too long, but I can't not talk about PvP. So there's several different PvP dungeons. One of them is a 20 versus 20 people dungeon, and the queue for this seems to be a little bit longer. I think the average time when I looked at it last said about 10 minutes per going into the queue. However, it is only available at certain times. I believe that it's only about 3 hours twice a day. and it might have restricted days as well. So that one is less available than some of the others. Now, some of the other PvP ones are available only, certain days of the week. I think both of them, there's two different ones, and it switches between which days they are available. Now, one thing that's pretty cool about the PvP ones, and I believe probably also the other dungeons, is you can queue multiple dungeons. So I'm going to join, in for both the 20 versus 20 and the 5 versus 5 queues, so that I can hopefully get a match with one of them. So, and it looks like they're going to be adding additional PvP areas. So that's good. There is one that is available all the time. So if you're looking to do PvP, there are multiple options. They're getting ready to add, I think it's a 40 by 40, a 40 versus 40 one. So, again, you've got a lot of different PvP options. So this is one of the little fun PvP ones where you're going in with a group of 5. You cannot pre-make teams in something like this. It is random only to try and keep it fair. And, you try and keep the other team out of the circle so that, you can move this little device over to the other people's mine to blow it up. So also, besides, all the huge amount of activities you can do in the game, festivals, dungeons, quests, all this different stuff that's going on. Some of it I haven't even explored yet. You can customize also your character. It doesn't really necessarily matter which shield or set of armor or whatever you've got on. You can customize it to look like something else if you want to. So here I'm changing around the look of my shield. I actually had been playing around with this before and didn't realize that I had set my armor to my starting armor. So I went through and had also set my shield. So, here I changed the look of my shield. When you go out, it's set that way. If I go back in, I can change it again, and I actually reset my armor because I didn't realize that I was wearing the beginning armor, or at least having it look like the beginning armor. And like most games right now, if that is not enough customization for you, don't worry. They will allow you to spend your money to buy more pets and mounts and outfits than you could probably ever want. So, there is that aspect of the game as well. So overall, I think this is a really good game to check out, download and at least play for a little bit. So far, I haven't found a lot that you have to pay for. It's all just, optional outfits and things and pets and stuff. But it's definitely worth checking out and, fun to play. You're watching VGO40 and this is VGO Girl. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And we will see you next time.